Hi, guys. This is Mrs. Lamb, and this is the second part of exploring the Americas. And I want to pick up from where I left off last time, talking about Ferdinand Magellan. And what he is known for is sailing all the way around the world. He himself didn't actually survive the trip, but his crew did make the first voyage all the way around the world. When you sail all the way around the world, it is called circumnavigating. So he was the first, or his crew was the first to circumnavigate the world. But again, Ferdinand Magellan did not actually make it back alive. He died on the way back. He was killed on an island in a battle in what we now know as the Philippines. So Magellan's crew would have left from Spain, and if you follow my cursor, they sailed south in the Atlantic Ocean, and they went to pretty far south in South America, not all the way to the tip, but pretty far south. And that's why this area today is even named the Strait of Magellan, because that's where he went through, crossed into the Pacific Ocean, and then in the Pacific Ocean stopped at the Philippine Islands. And that's where Magellan was killed. And then his crew that did survive continued, sailed around Africa and all the way back to Spain. And that's a picture of Magellan, or a painting of him anyway. Okay, so now we are going to talk about Spanish conquistadors. So conquistadors is a Spanish word for conqueror. So conquistadors were explorers who settled and conquered the Americas. And whenever they did conquer new land and claim it for Spain, they would receive land grants from Spanish rulers in exchange for 1/5 of the gold or treasure taken from the Americas. So in 1521, and we read about this yesterday, but Hernando Cortez conquered the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan. And he took the Emperor Montezuma prisoner and gained control of the region. Francisco Pizarro captured the Inca ruler Atahualpa in 1532 and later gained control of the Inca Empire, which is in modern-day South America. The Aztec Empire was in modern-day Mexico. All right, so the Spanish conquistadors conquered great Native American empires with their strong armies using guns, cannons, and horses. So that was a huge advantage that the Spanish had over the Native Americans, was the fact that they had guns, cannons, and horses. Another less obvious advantage that the Spanish had over the Native Americans was disease. And you guys watched a video called Guns, Germs, and Steel a while back, and it did talk about smallpox. The fact that the Spanish, or any of the Europeans for that matter, but the Spanish were carriers of a disease called smallpox. Now, they weren't sick. They didn't even have the symptoms of it, but they did carry the virus. And when they came into contact with Native Americans who had never before been exposed to the virus, the Native Americans would become sick. Their whole bodies would be covered in blisters, and many times they would, in fact, become sick and die. All right, so Spanish conquistadors also explored the southeastern and southwestern parts of North America in hopes of finding riches. Juan Ponce de Leon landed on the east coast of present-day Florida in 1513, looking for gold and the Fountain of Youth. In 1565, the first Spanish settlement in the United States, a fort, was established at St. Augustine, Florida. Many conquistadors searched for wealth in the 7 cities of Cibola, or they were also called the 7 cities of gold. Many people lost their lives searching for these. Francisco Vasquez de Coronado was searching for these 7 golden cities. He never found them. He was the first European to see the Grand Canyon. Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca and Panfilo de Narvaez explored Florida and the coast of Mexico. In 1541, Hernando de Soto explored the southeastern region of North America. He crossed the Mississippi River and traveled as far west as present-day Oklahoma. Francisco Vasquez de Coronado traveled through northern Mexico and present-day Arizona and New Mexico. In 1540, he reached a town belonging to the Zuni people, but again, Coronado's expedition failed. He did not find the golden cities. Okay, so the Spanish rule in the Americas. So when the Spanish conquered the lands and they colonized them, they established 3 different kinds of settlements in the Americas. The first kind were called pueblos, which were towns, which would be centers of trade. The second kind were called missions, and they were religious communities where the Spanish was trying to spread their Christian religion and convert the Native Americans into Christianity. Presidios were forts and were usually built near a mission. And these are just some pictures of some of these that are still remnants that are still standing today. There was a hierarchy of social classes from upper to lower. So when the Spanish colonized the New World, there was a hierarchy of people. Peninsulares are people who were from Spain. Both parents were born in Spain. They were born in Spain. They were 100% Spanish. They ran the local government. They served in the Catholic Church. They were like the highest class people. The Criollas were still 100% Spanish blood, but they themselves were born in America. Their parents were born in Spain. Mestizos are, they have one Spanish parent, one Native American parent. Then there was Native Americans. And then at the very bottom of the hierarchy were enslaved Africans. The Spanish developed a system of encomiendas that created enslaved Native Americans. A conquistador could demand taxes and labor from the Native Americans living on the land. Many Native Americans died from malnutrition and disease because of this grueling labor. So basically, the Spanish treated the Native Americans really, really badly, and it caused a lot of them to die. There were Spanish priests who did fight against it, like this Bartolomé de las Casas. And actually, that is where I'm going to go ahead and end today. And we'll go into more of this stuff a little bit later on in the next unit. So thank you for listening. Have a great day.